What's up guys, it's Chris here. In today's video, I want to talk about how major influencers like Gary Vee have alluded to or said things on the basis of Veve NFTs aren't real NFTs, or at least have not recognized them as NFTs, such as saying things like, when will Disney drop their NFTs? I have been involved with Veve since March of 2021, very early March. I was actually bought Omi back in February, and I have been buying NFTs from platforms like OpenSea, LooksRare, X2Y2, and all of that for almost a year now. So I'm involved heavily in both spaces if you want to separate the two. So I would like to give my opinion on whether Veve NFTs are NFTs or if they're a different category. So if you like these type of videos and if you like my type of content, please be sure to like this video for the YouTube algorithms, and of course subscribe to the channel for further updates. I make videos every single week, so I hope to see you in some of those videos, and definitely at the end of this video let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'd like to point out that it would be nearly impossible to break down all the technicals in one video, although I am going to get a little bit technical in this video. There are people like Taps Trades who have done other videos on whether Veve NFTs are NFTs. I've done other videos on what an NFT is, and to fully understand NFTs and the technicals, you really just need to be in the space for a long time. That video would probably be at least an hour long, and I'm sure nobody would want to watch that, but I could do it one day. So we're going to look at the basics of what an NFT is. Again, this video isn't like exactly what is an NFT, but kind of comparing like Veve Collectibles or Veve NFTs to other NFTs and why people separate the two. But it is important to kind of understand the basics of what an NFT is. An NFT, by most definitions, is a digital asset, or let's say a token that represents something else, that points back to something like art or music or games that is on the blockchain. You get one layer deeper, and again, depending on what sources you're using, there are sources that say that an NFT cannot be forged or otherwise manipulated. However, if you do use that standard definition, there are a lot of NFTs right now that exist that are widely popular, that do exist, and you can hold them as tokens in your wallets, that some are worth even over 30 ETH, such as Moonbirds, that do point back to a centralized platform that if they did want to change the metadata right under you and now your Moonbirds look like moon turtles or whatever, they actually could do that. But not a lot of people are pointing at Moonbirds saying that those aren't NFTs because of this, and that's either because they just don't understand what an NFT is, or they don't understand that the asset they're holding actually can be changed. And this actually points to a lot of other larger projects that are widely respected in the crypto and NFT space. So using this jargon and putting to Veve saying, well, Veve aren't NFTs because Veve's decentralized platform can change them, is almost like doing a double standard, like, well, this can change them but you can't. So I feel like that's a very poor example of why some people believe that Veve NFTs aren't real NFTs. So what about the blockchain? Are Veve NFTs on the blockchain? So they were on GoChain, which is nobody knows about. It's a very small blockchain that hardly anybody uses. The data on GoChain was awful. So we ended up reminting onto a layer 2 called Immutable X. Immutable X transactions can be tracked through Immutascan. And here you see that I'm on Immutascan right to the left of me, and that it shows how many tokens are minted and that they're unique owners. If you click on the transactions, you can see that these Veve NFTs are actually ER721s, which is a token that contains an NFT. Typically, that's what they use as ER721s. You can see that it's from this person to this person, transfer, ID, and all that. I will say, as somebody who is a very active trader on ETH, that this data really lacks and it needs to be updated. And they did say in one of the recent community AMAs that they would update this, so I really hope that they do, because we don't really see what's being traded. If you go back right here, you can't see any trade volume, you can't see any recent trades. You do see the unique ownership, which is pretty cool. And if you go to the transactions, I do believe you can go to the wallets and track their individual trades, which I guess I'm not going to do on live right now, but you can see some sort of history there. I do wish they could update things. A good example would be book games with, ironically, Gary Vee. You can see here the trade volume is very easy to track. Recent trades is really easy to track. If you go to any given one, it shows what they're buying, what they're selling. You can go to the wallets, and it shows you exactly how much is the volume is and the total trades. So it's a lot more traceable. I don't know if this is on Immutable X's end or if this is on Veve's end, but either way, they are supposed to update the metadata, and I really hope they do because I'm a big metadata fan. I really like to see volume. I really like to use charts. I like to see if floors are genuine or if floors are fake, and it's just people trying to manipulate. And those things will come, and that's what we're betting on. So overall, like, you know, you can develop your opinion. My opinion is that Veve NFTs are real NFTs. However, there is some major issues going on right now that I understand why people like Gary do not recognize them as NFTs. While I take the side that they are NFTs, I do accept the criticism from the other side, and that's because right now these NFTs do exist on a gated ecosystem. So for instance, let's take OpenSea. If something gets delisted on OpenSea, it still exists in your wallet, and then you can just go list it on LooksRare. And if LooksRare becomes centralized and they take it off, you can go list it on X2Y2. And they're eventually going to open up this DEX, I think it's called Seaport, to where they can build other marketplaces, and your NFT can forever be listed on one of these marketplaces because it exists in your wallet and you have ownership of it, and nobody can take that from you unless you click a phishing link, unless you get scammed or anything like that. Whereas right now, Veve is a gated ecosystem. Veve NFTs exist in the Veve app, and unfortunately we have this happen time and time again. We have things that happened last night, like this person with a lot of collectibles and comics got hacked. I'm assuming he got his email compromised, and we had Twitter tagging Veve saying, hey, can you get this person's assets back to him? He was compromised. And while a lot of people feel, and I'm not even going to really give my opinion on this, but while a lot of people feel like this is the good reason to have a centralized platform, others feel like it's almost not fair because that's just not how the space works. Like, if you do get hacked, it's kind of on you. It's kind of the wild, wild west. And while that kind of sounds harsh, think about it from another lens. Think about the people that saw those deals, because they weren't crazy. They were not far off floor. They were 20% below floor. If that, it really looked like the well could have been liquidating. Somebody could have loaded up 6,000, 10,000 gems just to buy one of those good priced items. And now, if Veve does return the collectible to the original owner, they now have those gems stuck in the app. So they just wasted $6,000 to $10,000 that are now stuck into the app, stuck into a closed ecosystem. Or if they sold some of their valuable NFTs to buy one of these good priced items, they can't just get theirs back unless they do this huge reverse thing. So this is part of the problem with getting respected by the rest of the space, because it's not decentralized. Now, let's be honest, if you made it to this point of the video, I feel like I just pissed a lot of you off. I'm really not trying to take a stance here. Matter of fact, this is really bullish for Veve in the future, because here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to have two separate crowds. Who cares who's going to be bigger? We're going to have a crowd that wants the centralization of Veve ecosystem, and we're going to have a new crowd that we're adopting, that wants that centralization of that feeling of safety. And once we're interoperable, meaning once we can take our Veve assets into wallets and put them on other platforms, we're going to have this other crowd that appreciates decentralization. So I think where we are heading, and where Gary has said that he is rooting for Veve, is that once our assets are interoperable, we will be able to appease both crowds. We will be able to appease the centralized crowd and the decentralized crowd while remaining NFTs all along. So my summation of this video and my conclusion on what I personally believe is that yes, Veve NFTs are real NFTs that are in a closed ecosystem. Will this closed ecosystem be the future of NFTs, or will decentralization be the future? I do lean personally towards decentralization, so I like having that option of being able to take my higher end assets off and into my wallet, and if anything happens to them, it's on me. It was my fault. And at the same time, nobody like passively gets screwed in that. But for those that do respect centralization, and a lot of these bigger companies and a lot of these people coming into NFTs for the first time will want that centralization, Veve can market to them too. So the answer is hopefully Q3 of being interoperable, being able to take our Veve assets off of Veve and into our wallets if we want to. And if we don't want to, and if you want to keep yours in there for the AR features and for the MCP program and all that other stuff, you can. It appeases both crowds. So I think either way, if Veve gets there or when they get there, I think that's going to be a huge deal, and we will be more accepted by the space. But overall, I do think that this is why some people in the NFT space do not respect Veve as NFTs, even though I do think that they're NFTs, and I also collect other NFTs as well. Let me know what you think about this breakdown down below in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.